King Cold is dead, and Vegeta managed to grow up on Earth with the rest of the remaining Saiyans. What comes next? My name is Michael from Vegeta T23, and welcome to part 3 of What If Vegeta Was Born with OMNI Key. Before we start, check out the previous parts to keep yourself updated on the series. Also, make sure you like and subscribe. It helps me a lot, and I thank you for your support. As the Saiyans were catching their dinner, a car popped out of nowhere and Kakarot was the one who crashed into it, totaling the car. A girl crawled out of it, holding her head in pain as she watched Kakarot take a quick peek around the car and herself. Kakarot caught the attention of Gine and Vegeta, who were both on guard. Seeing a girl for the first time around these parts was a glorious sight to see to Gine. But Vegeta wasn't really fond of meeting Earthlings much, as he considered them weaklings. Bulma introduced herself and her intentions, mentioning the Dragon Balls, the myths around them, and how she got here. Vegeta had quite an interest in those said Dragon Balls for some reason, and Gine was just flabbergasted that a girl visited them. Bulma then explains her technology and points to the location of the next Dragon Ball. Vegeta mentions how that is Gohan's house and that the ball surely must be there. Bulma seems delighted that they're gonna give the Dragon Ball up without any struggle, so she rolled with them. Arriving at Grandpa Gohan's, Bulma introduced herself once again and stated her intentions. Gohan knew of the ball, but not what it did. Bulma requested for it to be given to her, so Gohan thought that through before succumbing and giving the ball to Bulma. Bulma was delighted, thanks to Gang, and departs with a bike that pops out of a capsule. With nothing else to worry about, Vegeta asks for all 3 Saiyans to have a sparring match with him, so they go for it. It ends with Vegeta bodying everyone there, but they get their strength right back up after eating. Once they finish their meal, they go outside to look at the stars, as there is no full moon this night, so they're free to look at it. While they enjoyed their evening, a carriage passed by and they looked as it passed by. All of a sudden, they hear a blood-curdling scream of a girl calling for Kakarot. Turns out, it's Bulma, and they kidnapped her for trying to attain the Dragon Balls. Kakarot sprung up really fast and went to help Bulma out. He went on a trolling spree before teaching the bad guys a lesson and releasing Bulma. Bulma mentions that is the Red Ribbon Army, and that they're not messing around. But Kakarot doesn't listen and messes up the faces of a few guys. The Red Ribbon guys are trying to escape, but before anything can happen, Vegeta stomps on the ground, which brings out a massive stone spike that impales the main carriage and stops the whole army dead in its tracks. Kakarot brought Bulma and her Dragon Balls, and Vegeta decided to finish the whole job the more easier way. Bulma was brought inside, and now Gohan's little hut became more of an orphanage than a house. Vegeta gets back in after having fun with the Red Ribbon, and Gohan sits everyone down to explain what happened. Apparently, those Red Ribbon guys are also collecting the Dragon Balls and are going to wish for world domination. That took Vegeta and the Saiyans right back to the Frieza days, thinking about collecting all 7 of the Dragon Balls and also getting rid of the Red Ribbon once and for all. That said, their new adventure began. After a bit of searching, they take a bath and all that and head to bed. The next day, they come across a lost turtle and they are trying to find the shore. When they do, the turtle asks the 2 to wait, and they do so. Turtle then returns with an old man on his back, and of course, it's Roshi. Bulma notices the Dragon Ball and asks for it. Roshi's lewd nature is forcing him to ask Bulma to see her underwear. Since no one really checked to see if Bulma's got nuts, the briefless incident doesn't happen. So Roshi gets the underwear as his eye candy and not something else. They get the Dragon Ball and they go on their merry way. They then go into an unknown village and see the Dragon Radar is beeping. They know the Dragon Ball is here. After a while, they realize that Oolong is haunting the village. Gine would like to teach him a lesson about respecting women, so she is left to deal with him as she pleases. Oolong then comes to pick up a little girl and he falls for Guinea's disguise, as all Guinea had to do is give him a nice punch and get it over with. She does so and it works. Guinea punched Oolong into a nearby building and revealed the true form of Oolong. They take Oolong with them on the search. They then go through the desert and Bulma is tired as always. Tarble picks her up and continues on the way. Bulma blushes, but Tarble gets confused as to why she's getting red before realizing. Bulma knew he knew, but he didn't care enough. They come across Yamcha and he proposes a fight. Kakarot steps up again, accepts the challenge and punches Yamcha a new one. Then they arrive at the Fire Mountain and search for the Dragon Ball there. They come across the Ox King and he takes them on. Guinea just rushes in and blocks the sword sweep. Then Vegeta arrives and sees the burning mountain and extinguishes it by just blowing air into it. Roshi's impressed and wants to train the boy, but Vegeta says that he's already training with Gohan. Roshi mentions Gohan used to be his student, so having his relatives ought to be even more interesting. Vegeta declined, saying he doesn't need any training, but Kakarot and Guinea do agree, not to become stronger, but to make housing for Gohan a lot easier. Vegeta and Tarble cut upon it and decided they will too go live with the Turtle Hermit, but once they finish their trips. They say their goodbyes to Roshi and the Ox King and depart. They go find the rest of the Dragon Balls, and during the trip, they come across the Pilaf gang and they get trapped. Vegeta just punches through the wall and reveals Pilaf's lair. He gets his Dragon Balls back and they summon Shenron. Bulma is hesitating about the wish. Oolong is about to make a wish, but then Vegeta asks Shenron to revive his entire race. Shenron briefly explains that he cannot revive people that have been dead for over a year or longer and to wish for something else. Guinea is kind of bummed that it didn't work, but also glad as she grew to like this new life and to cherish it to the best of her ability. Vegeta saw the words to have some truth to them as he really enjoys Earth. Tarble agreed and so did Kakarot. Vegeta then asked for another wish, which is to be teleported to the Grand Priest of the Cosmos. As much confusion as it added, it was quickly rejected by Shenron yet again that he cannot do wishes of this magnitude as he cannot alter the powers of the deities higher than regular Kais. Vegeta was bummed yet again, but Guinea went to comfort him. Bulma then spoke her wish to have the most handsome prince as her boyfriend. Shenron sort of sarcastically said that there are two right beside her as they speak, technically granting the wish and scattering the Dragon Balls. Bulma looked at Vegeta and Tarble and she noticed that Tarble is a bit more mannered and collected, so she decided to pursue him. Tarble has no complaints and the gang congratulates him, with Vegeta teasing him all the way back home about marriage and whatnot. Guinea was feeling bad for Tarble, so she told Vegeta to calm the teasing down a little. So Vegeta replied that having a woman to tell him what to do is quite a perk on this planet. The sentence alone wasn't confusing to anyone, but Guinea took it a bit weird and started acting dumb and a little bit violent. The gang travels to the beach where they found a turtle and they tell it to lead them to Roshi's island. The turtle is more than happy to help and leads them into the deep seas. They notice the pink house with a big ass sign saying Kame House and they fly up to it, knocking on the door. Bulma is dragged home by Tarble and Oolong is left to his own devices once he reaches the city. When it comes to the four, they are happily accommodated and everyone has their own place to sleep, which is already a lot better than Gohan's crib. With it, we're leaving this for the next part. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment on what shall I do next. Like if you liked the video, dislike if I'm Asian, check out my Discord server in the description below, and as always, peace out.